Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Luke Ness Monster. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Star Wars The Black Series, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Grogu 3-pack. This one is an Amazon exclusive and did retail for $66.99, so $67 in the US. And this is actually going to be my first ever Black Series plastic-free package experience. Up to now, they've all only been the classic like plastic bubble, so I haven't had plastic free yet, and this will be my first one, so it'll be pretty interesting to see. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at the box before we do get it open. We do have a CG render here of Mando, Grogu, and Ahsoka, and Mando and Grogu look alright, but man, Ahsoka's face there just looks horrible. I'm sorry, it does not look good. I really wish they would have went ahead with the how do I say, the like the actual photos of the figures rather than the 3D renders, because the 3D renders, they just don't look great. I'm sorry, they don't look great. Flipping it around, ooh, actually, before I do that, I do want to say I do really love the clean look of this. One thing I do wish they kind of did, though, was kind of, like, sectioned off this bottom piece, you know? This whole space here was supposed to be for the window, so this bottom piece makes sense, so you can advertise on the front of the package there. But now that there's no window, I feel like this bottom whole, like, section there is kind of just not necessary. But I do really like the just matte black finish to the box, and then it does have this kind of like gloss, sand, and like light effect over here, and it looks pretty good. I do like those effects. We do have the mural artwork on the side. This won't line up with any mural, unfortunately, but I do love the artwork. It is looking really cool. Flipping it around to the back, we do have that exact same 3D render here, but the full render, it's not cut off or anything. We also do have the bio. You can pause and read it, and there's actually no number on this figure at all. One of the first figures I've ever seen in the Black Series Galaxy style packaging that doesn't have a number, so really interesting. But yeah, one thing I do love about plastic free is this little thing on the side here that shows everything that it comes with. It does have all the accessories and everything right here, looking pretty cool. Let's go ahead, get this out of the box, and see what it looks like. Alrighty guys, so we do have the figures out of the box, and I gotta say, they are looking pretty dang good. I think that the cloak for Ahsoka is a huge improvement. Yeah, I think that it really just makes the figure stand out. I do have the original Ahsoka, and like I said, I just think that the cloak really makes the figure 10 times better than the figure originally was, and I think the original figure was great. And then, of course, we do have Mando as well. Mando is basically a re-release of another figure. We already have tons of Mandos, but this one is actually the first official Season 2 variant of Mando that is just plain Beskar armor. We do have the snowy, I want to say like I don't know what the planet is, but the snowy Mando, and that one does have the correct armor, but it has that like snowy deco. So this is the first plain Beskar Season 2 Mando that we've gotten in the line, so that's pretty cool. And of course it does have the Beskar spear. So let's go ahead, get these figures off of the stands, and take a closer look. So first up, taking a close look at this Ahsoka figure, there's not a ton to look at because this is very, very similar to the original variant of Ahsoka. Like I said, the only difference is the new soft goods cloak, which I absolutely love. We will go over articulation here. So head is not a ton of articulation. It does have a ball joint at the top of the head there, but the little head pieces here do get in the way of the articulation, so it does hinder a lot of that at the neck. But she does have a ton of ab movement here, so a lot in there, but arms also go very far up, of course can go all the way around. She does have butterfly joints as well, which is great, and then her elbows do get past 90, so great articulation on Ahsoka here. She does seem to have, does she have, yeah, she has two vertical hinges, which is great for lightsabers. Not too upset about that. Legs can kick up about that far. I do know that this little rubber skirt piece is kind of getting in the way, but it is a soft plastic, so it does bend. And then knees get a ton of articulation there. There are pivots and rockers at the ankles, so pretty solid articulation for Ahsoka.
I will not be going over articulation for the Mandalorian because, of course, we have a ton of Mando figures in the line, and I've already reviewed a ton of Mando figures. They all have the exact same articulation, so I'm not going to be redoing that. If you do want to see the articulation for Mando, make sure to go check out one of my other reviews. But I did want to compare him to the other release of Mando. This one is the actually deluxe version with the removable helmet from the Mando build-up pack, but there are a few differences. Basically, this is the end of season 1 version when he gets his Beskar, and this is the season 2 version. Those are the big differences, and the main way you can tell those apart is the thigh pads here. This one does have the more boxy thigh pad with the paint still on it, and this one it has the more curvy one with that's all silver Beskar. So that is the main difference you can tell, but there is different splashes of color with a brown shin guard with the red on this one, blue knee pad compared to the brown knee pad. So they are very similar, but the two figures do have some differences. I do believe that this one has a brand new head sculpt for the helmet because it looks much better. Obviously, this one does have the removable helmet, so it doesn't fit great, but even then, the visor on this one just looks much wider. It looks a lot better. Now, flipping these guys around to the back, there are obviously the differences with the back here. So this one does have the peg hole for the rifle to go into, and this one does have that same peg hole, except it's taken up by the clip that actually holds in the staff here. So unfortunately, there's no way to get that out. That is stuck in there really tight. I don't know if it's glued in or what, but you cannot take that peg out. It does have the other one on this side, which is pretty cool. Ooh, that's new. It looks like they didn't paint this back armor at all. Wow, okay. I didn't know that. That's one huge difference. I'll try to stand him back up, because obviously they painted the back armor for this one. So, wow, I didn't even notice that. Now, that one is actually really disappointing in my opinion, because you do have this big spot right here that should be showing armor, as you can tell right there, and it's just not painted on this. I don't know why they didn't paint the back of that. But another big problem I have with this clip is that it's at a weird angle, and so whenever he has the spear holstered in there, it's just at a weird angle. It should, in my opinion, stay straight up like this, but I've tried to finesse it and it just won't stay. So it's not the end of the world, but it just looks kind of funky. Then obviously another big difference is the jetpack. This one comes with a jetpack, this one doesn't. I think the main reason for that is that you couldn't use the jetpack anyway because that clip is there. So that makes sense that they didn't include it. It's just a little disappointing. And of course we do have Grogu as well. Now this is actually one of the main reasons I bought this set, because this is a brand new mold for Grogu. So I will put him next to the mainline wave Grogu right here, and I will kind of center them so you guys can see them. But they do both have the sitting position, which is really nice. I think I prefer the sitting position for Grogu. But the one thing that is pretty different is this one has the arms molded in so it can hold items, compared to this one which just have free-ranging articulation. But that means that this one can hold the bowl, which is great. And so there we go, we have him holding the bowl. That's all I've ever wanted. I just wanted Grogu to hold the bowl, and I'm really glad they decided to make that a feature here. But they didn't include the bowl with the figure. They made a figure specifically to hold the bowl, and then didn't include the bowl. That makes me really upset, not just because they didn't include the bowl, but mainly because they didn't include the shifter knob that came with the bowl and the frog with the other releases of Grogu. And that's really important because that shifter knob is a big part of the scene that this is trying to recreate. This scene is trying to recreate where Mando, Ahsoka, and Grogu kind of are talking it through, whether they want to train Grogu to be a Jedi. And I know Ahsoka has Grogu force the shifter knob around. And so it would have made sense that they included the shifter knob in the set, and they did not. And I think that's really disappointing. But yeah, I'm just really happy that Grogu can finally hold the bowl, because I've been really waiting for that for a long time. Does look like he has a brand new head sculpt as well, which is pretty cool. I do like the head sculpt on this figure. So moving on to comparisons, Ahsoka does not interact with a ton of characters in the show that we already have figures for, except for Mando. So I'm going to be kind of skipping out with comparisons for her, but I do have her next to the original Ahsoka here. This one is sealed, and I don't plan on opening it just because I plan on doing it as a giveaway. But these two are, like I said, many times in this video, the exact same figure, just this one has the cloak, and this one does not. Anyway, first up for comparisons, we do have Snowy Mando on the right. This is the exact same mold, which is great, so it is that Season 2 look. And we do have the original 94 Mando on the left. Both are looking great. Obviously, you're never going to see these figures in the same scene because they are the same character, but they still look great together. Next up with some more main character heroes, we do have Season 2 Grief Karga on the right with Cara Dune, the credit collection version, on the left. Then we do have that followed by Cobb Vanth on the right, and then Season 2 Migs Mayfeld on the left. Then, of course, this being a Season 2 character, we do have the Season 2, I guess, like Mandalorian bunch with Bo-Katan on the right, and we do have Koska Reeves and Axe Wolves on the left. Both are looking great, and I did absolutely love the scene with all four of these characters together, so it was really nice to be able to recreate this now that we have the accurate Season 2 Mando. And then last up for heroes, we do have Book of Boba Fett Boba on the right, which is actually the Throne Room Boba, which was in The Mandalorian, so I guess technically you could say Mandalorian Boba on the right and Fennec Shand on the left. Looking great. Now, of course, this being the Beskar Spear Mando, I had to show him off next to Moff Gideon. They did duel each other with these weapons, so like I said, I had to show them off together. Looking great. And I already know everybody's going to ask what this figure looks like with the Darksaber, so I had to show that off as well. This is the accurate version when he does have the Darksaber, even in Book of Boba Fett when we see him use it, so it is nice to show this off with that Beskar spear on the backpack there. And then next up, I felt this was really fitting. We do have the Dark Trooper on the left. Absolutely loved how the Dark Trooper came out. And we do have the Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker on the right. Unfortunately, the Mando Luke Jedi is not out yet. It will be coming out in late 2022, early 2023, so I'd love to do a comparison as soon as that figure hits shelves, but until then, this is the closest comparison we can get, and it's pretty close, so I think it looks awesome. And then last up, just for some standard Mandalorian troop comparisons, we do have the Incinerator Trooper on the right from Mando Season 1. We do have the standard classic Mandalorian Stormtrooper on the left, flanked by the Mortar Trooper from Season 2 on the far left, or I guess you could also call him, I want to say the Artillery Trooper, but yeah, these look great, and it's nice to have some villains for Mando to fight. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy to have this set. I think it definitely is a lot better in person. I'm a huge fan of Ahsoka's cloak. That is like a big upgrade of that character, and it really just makes me fall in love with that figure. I also do love the Beskar spear. Not a huge fan that they had to take up that slot on the back for the rifle, but I'm still glad they decided to include the rifle. I do wish it sat a little bit better on the back. It may be a more vertical angle than the weird angle that it's at, but like I said, those are just kind of me nitpicking, and overall it came out pretty nice. I do like that they finally do have an accurate version of Season 2 Mando, though. And then, of course, it's really nice to get that Grogu with the ability to hold the bowl. I do wish they would have included the bowl and the gear shifter knob in this, but you know, I guess it's better than nothing, and I'm just glad they really decided to go back and make a Grogu that's able to hold the bowl, because it's really cool. So yeah, overall, I am going to give it a 4 out of 5. I do really like this set, but it does have a few flaws here and there that I pointed out in the review, so I do think it deserves a 4 out of 5. Now, this set, I do believe, is still up on Amazon. It might be up for pre-order rather than in stock, but I do say go check it out, because it's definitely worth buying if you don't have the original figures. If you do have the original figures, there are a few perks to picking it up, but it's definitely not a necessity, so it's one of those, if you want those extra perks like the cloak or the Beskar spear, I say go pick it up. It's not going to hurt anything, but again, if you have those original figures, it's probably not worth picking up. But yeah, that is going to do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.